What's going on, everybody? This is Nick Lawson from Squad Sports. First and foremost, before we get into it, congrats to the Seattle Storm 2020 WNBA champs, the GOAT Sue Bird getting her fourth ring. But this is episode 46 of your sports sponsorship tip of the week. All right, this week I've been really intrigued with using somebody else's, and we talked about this a little bit with tagging your sponsors, but using somebody else's influence, hence where the term influencers come from, but using somebody else's influence to be able to drive customers' loyalty over to your brand. Now, obviously, brands pay us to be able to tap into sort of that influence with our fan base. But we can only get so far, especially if we have a limited reach. We're going to want to create campaigns that are really going to go beyond our reach, right? Nothing's better than to piggyback off of somebody else's local reach. So I'm thinking about this very, very localized, but I really think something like this could take off, especially if you don't have fans in your building and you have sort of the stadium, the arena, to be able to pull this off with. So the tip of the week is this. In all honesty, I stole this from NPR. NPR Music in their Tiny Desk concerts are amazingly fascinating to me. Lizzo, Mac Miller, all of these artists basically came into NPR's office, Tiny Desk, and did a concert. And they put it on YouTube. And the amount of reach they got was amazing. In fact, the way I found it was searching for, who was it? It might have been Macklemore, but searching for an artist, and then I saw that video, and all of a sudden now NPR Music, they're getting my attention, my views. So here's the tip of the week. Maybe a little bit of stretch, but I totally think you can do it within your own local organizations, your teams, your fan bases. As we know, music, comedians, entertainers are the sort of within our cities are these sort of pull, especially within music. You go to Seattle, you're going to hear Macklemore, right? You go to the Bay Area, E40, right? Too Short, all of that. The tip of the week this week is how can we piggyback off of their following to be able to introduce not only our brand, but also our team to our fans in a great experience. So Budweiser's done this, Red Bull's done this, but let's do a mini concert before our games, right? Let's actually do a mini concert. We're going to live stream on Facebook, YouTube, do some Instagram stuff, get some clips onto TikTok. And what we'll do is we'll take a local artist, comedian, magician, whatever, probably local artist. We'll bring them into the penalty box. We'll bring them into the stadium, right? And we're literally going to have them do a concert right there in the stadium and live stream it. What this is going to do is this is going to pull in the audience from that artist into your fan base. Somebody who listens to E40, who's never been to your game, if you're a local Bay Area team just starting to get going, all of a sudden knows about your team because this artist is promoting that concert, right? And it's a great way for them to integrate in with your fan base. Let's flip that now for the sponsor. Now all of a sudden, not only is the sponsor getting your reach, they're getting that influencer or that artist's reach, and they're connecting themselves with that homegrown feeling, right? So pre-game, creating a quick concert doesn't have to be crazy. Go look at Tiny Desk, see how they do it. They do it with some quick microphones, one camera, a couple cameras, sort of focusing in, very low budget. Heck, you could probably even do it, with your iPhone and a good microphone, right, or an iPad, and be able to live stream that. But find a place in your stadium, in your penalty box, whatever that is, and record a concert for every game with a new up-and-coming artist. Obviously, you're going to want to look at their reach, make sure that they're not too explicit with their lyrics. That allows you, though, to pull in that audience and that influence and be able to piggyback off of that with your sponsor being attached with it, right? And then, obviously, you can do some giveaways digitally for that if the sponsor's interested in that. But again, as we sort of think through ways of, if we don't have fans in our stands, how can you maximize our different channels of reach? that is one way that we're able to piggyback off of a Macklemore, off of a Keek the Sneak, Too Short, E40, whatever that may be, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar. Obviously, I'm throwing out big names. Doesn't have to be these big names. Could be much smaller sort of names as well on that end. So how can we pick up off and piggyback off their influence? Let our fans know that we're really true to the culture of your area, and even allow fans and be sort of a source to find new artists while tying in that sponsor at the same time. So again, tip of the week this week is find those local artists, those local musicians that are within your city, and then each week do a new concert that's in your stadium. Very low, but doesn't have to be high budget. Needs to be decent quality, but doesn't have to be high budget. Live stream that. So fans are watching it before. Obviously, afterwards, cut that up and send that out, right? NPR with their Tiny Desk concerts, I don't know if they do it live, but they post it on YouTube and they get millions of hits, right? So if you can get your artists to that concert, you have content that's going to reverberate long after you just do that live stream. But do that live stream, get it sponsored, get fans back in, kind of gives them a game day feel, but it brings a large amount of awareness and interaction with your team in that reach to be able to piggyback off that artist. If you do that for weeks and weeks and weeks, you can build an asset that now sponsors have to pay for in order to get each week to be the sponsored sort of concert sponsor, right? Your pregame concert sponsor brought to you by this. We're live streaming. Here's the local artist everybody likes and cares about. They're going to do a 3-song set. It's going to be awesome. We're watching from home. And then obviously when we get back to games, we get fans in. You have a digital piece. You have a physical piece. You can bring those two together. So that's tip of the week this week. Finding creative ways, and it doesn't have to be sort of this concert piece. It could be an esports tournament. It could be, whatever influencer, but finding ways that you can piggyback off these influencers, tie in a sponsor to that, and be able to get that out there. Again, doesn't have to cost you a ton. Can be very basic. Could even just be local artists that maybe not a lot of people know about, but they have a decent following to be able to piggyback off of that. That's what we're looking for. We lost reach with fans not in our stands, and really that one-to-one reach. I know we can talk about TV viewership all day, but that one-to-one reach that a fan had in the stadium with that experience, we don't really have that with sponsors right now. If we can replace that with a pregame concert, you're bringing back a little bit of that one-to-one, that excitement, that more feeling connected to the team. Great way to do that. So that's the tip of the week this week. Create your own Tiny Desk concert as NPR has, NPR Music. If you haven't checked it out, check that out for inspiration. But create your own one of those. Do that every week. Do it in unique places. Penalty box, I think, is going to be great. 50-yard line, whatever that is. Do that each week. It's a brand new piece of inventory that will work even as we get games back and still bring viewership after that on YouTube and the different channels you can post to that. That's my tip of the week this week. Again, congrats to Seattle Storm. 2 championships in 3 years. Amazing organization. We love working with them. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember, keep pushing those limits within sports sponsorship.